Alright, what's up guys, welcome back to my channel, and for today's video I'll be letting you know how you can improve on your PvP battle in Apex Go or Top Go, because I got a couple of comments saying that we don't really know, or you don't really know how you can win in battles, or how do you improve your chances of winning battles or increase your attack or defense stats. So in this video I'm just going to show you and give an introduction on every single thing that will affect your stats and how do you improve your stats even more. So there's a lot of different ways you can improve your stats, and I have split this up into different chapters or different categories. So in total I think I will group them into about 10 categories where you can improve your stats. And for the first category, the biggest one is artists. So over your artists, there's many different ways you can improve your battle stats. But before I move into the battle stats itself, I just want to let you know what influences the battles. And to have a deeper understanding of what influences a battle stat, let's look at some battle reports. So over here we can see that I have lost because I'm not really a PvP player, so I just try to understand the game and move forward based on environmental, or just like a farmer. So in this game, pretty much like a farmer, I just reinforce rallies whenever I can. So in this battle you can see that what influences the stats are attributes and skills, two different things, and I focus more in this video are attributes. So skills wise, it really depends on what artists that you are planning to send to battle. For attributes, there's two different attributes. First is the singing attribute, which gives you an increase in attack, and the dance attribute, which gives you an increase in defense capabilities. So there's this third attribute called manage, but manage doesn't affect your PvP and it just affects your finances. Finances over here. So if you're just interested in PvP, don't really care about management skills and just focus on singing and dancing skills. So with a better understanding of how PvP works, so let's move on to how to boost your singing and dancing capabilities, and that is where I'll move on to the 10 different areas. First area is artists, and artists, there's many different components which can improve your stats, and artist is also the main way to boost your attack and defense stats. And for your stats wise, to me, I think attacking stats are more important and stronger that will affect your gameplay. So I would recommend, if you can, boost your singing stats more, but at the same time don't forget to boost your dancing stats. So under your artists, let me just give you an example of how you can improve your stats. So one of the ways that can improve your stats is obviously to level up your artists. So basically, whenever you reach a milestone, a level cap, just promote your artists and continue to level your artists. So this will give them more singing and dancing stats, which is shown here. You can see that there's many different components which gives an increase in your stats. So another thing that might indirectly affect your attacks are fans. So you want to increase your level of the artist, because the more fans you can bring to battle, the more there are more people that can help you attack your enemy. So example, 1 million people versus 2 million people, definitely the 2 million people is stronger. So yeah, fans is also an attribute that will help you improve your PvP game. Second way is via skill upgrades. So over here, the star. So there are 3 skill upgrades that you should be taking note of. The first, second, and third. And how you unlock this skill upgrades is just increasing your intimacy. The more intimacy you have, the more you can equip assets, unlocking your skill level, so you can use your private photos to increase skill level. So as you can see, for all these skills, you can see that it increases your sing and dance bonus whenever you level up for all of the skills. And another thing about skills that will affect your PvP is under World Tour. So for World Tour, there are 2 different aspects to this. First aspect is PvP, and second aspect is more like a player versus environment, PvE. So I can see if it's a PvP or PvE World Tour is just simply look at it. If it deals more damage, obviously it means PvP, and take a look at what the World Tour stats mean. So for this, you can see that it deals more damage to target, and if it doesn't specify what kind of damage, it just means every single thing. So environment and PvP kind of matters for both, so this is a both PvP and PvE advantage. And if you were to see other different kind of like artists, you can see maybe there are some like specifically like driving speed. So driving speed doesn't affect PvP but affects how fast you get to the location. So maybe that is like sort of like a indirect PvP related skill. Yeah, so that's it for skills. There's two components. One is to level up each of the skills to give some boost in your singing and dancing stats. Second is under World Tour. The higher the level of your skill, max of 5 stars, the higher the damage that you can deal based on like normal attack of artists or like special skill damage of artists, depending on what artist you choose, of course. And right under this skill there's something called Intimacy, and Intimacy would also allow you to get more stats by unlocking assets. So for a 2-star Intimacy you can unlock jewelry and 3-star cast, and I think 4-star Intimacy will unlock property. And for each of these assets you can see that it actually adds some stats to it. Right, so when I go into the mod and I click like an asset, a jewelry, you can see that some jewelry boosts singing stats, some dancing stats, and some managed stats. So if you want to improve PvP, focus on those singing and dancing stats. For the card as well, there's some that boost singing, dancing, and management, and for property it is exactly the same thing. So that is for assets, and right under assets there's something called dine or cooking. So what you can do is right over here in your main screen you can see that there's a cooking button, and what this does is that every time you cook and build a meal, basically this like pulse box or zen meal, you're able to feed your artist. And what this does is that whenever you feed your artist you can actually get a boost in your stats. So as you can see, when you feed this you can see that the singing and the dance stat would increase. Honestly, the body shape dimension don't really matter anyway into the game, so just continue feeding your artists and your stats would just slowly increase. So the next thing that affects your PvP stats is team. So whenever you complete like this team task, all of your artists would gain the corresponding singing and dancing stat that is over at the top here, the total popularity. Every single artist will obtain it, not just those in the specific teams. So this is like an overall buff and it is really good. However, of course you have to gain some artists before you can even unlock it, so that would be the pain point for free players. So next thing that can improve your stats are flashcards. So where you can access and how do you get these flashcards is basically over at your street column, and you can see this assistant. Click on flashcards and you can see what flashcards you have. So for each flashcard you get, you can get a boost in stats as shown. And how you obtain these flashcards is to complete the story of your artist. So over at storyline you can see that for this I will unlock the flashcard of Violet, and when you complete the storyline of certain artists you're able to obtain flashcards. So that's how you obtain just a slight boost in stats. And next way you can improve stats are blueprints. So over here, blueprints, you can see that as long as it boosts your artist singing and dancing stat, there is an increase in your overall stats. So that is a very basic, very easy to follow flow. And the next one that could improve your artist stat are vehicles. So every single vehicle part, when you upgrade, you're able to obtain more fan capacity, which means you can bring more fans into battles. You can also increase your artist dance and artist singing ability. So this is what vehicles can help you improve. Under vehicle mods itself, there's also a category called core, and for core you can also upgrade the specific vehicle parts where you can increase artist stats as well. So when you just increase, you can see that it increases these dance stats for your artists. And after vehicle mods, we'll look at collections. So how you can access collections is over here at the bottom. You can see Claire. When you click on it, each of these collections, when you level up, you are able to get a boost in stats. So for this like rare, it might not be very helpful because song score only affects your studio production, so this doesn't affect PvP. But for those that affect PvP, you would see that it improves your artist singing and dancing stats for SR items, and even the ultra rare, which would give you even more boost for your artist stats. For collections, there's also a place called private museums, which can give you some stat improvement. So there are 4 different floors, and how you unlock each floor is just to obtain these like renovation like tokens or construction plans, which can be quite difficult to get for anything above the first floor because you have to pay to obtain this construction pack. And once you unlock the construction plans, you're able to upgrade your showcase wall and floor, which I'll show you for my first floor. Using some materials, you can upgrade your showcase wall and floor to increase your singing and dancing stats for your artists. Next up, another way to improve your stats for PvP is Villa. And for Villa, there's two different areas, Suite and Homemaking. For Suite, very similar to the museum where you can upgrade several areas of the villa, and might be quite difficult to obtain this villa design draft because you have to join events which might not come as often. So this is one way you can improve. And for homemaking, it is just improving your like cooks, your whichever helpers that you have in your villa itself, and this will increase stats for your artists. Basically for the first two only. For the third one, anything to do with that cash logo, it is the management stat boost. Alright, the next way you can improve your PvP stats are headquarters. So over here you can see at company HQ, click on this crane, construction crane logo, and you are able to go to the page called renovation. And for renovation itself, the overall page, you can see that you can use glass blocks, and using glass blocks would just improve your singing and dancing stats and even like management stats. And inside the headquarters itself, you can see that there's 4 different floors similar to many other areas like the museum. And for the second floor, again, it might be a little more difficult to obtain this HQ unlock pack, and usually you would have the first floor unlocked. And similar concept again, you will use materials to improve stats for your artists. Not to forget, there's also a area called skins under HQ, and once in a while you're able to perform well in some events like Ultimate CEO or different kind of events that can give you some skins that can increase whatever artist dance, singing and management skills. And when it is activated, every single skin that you own in your headquarters would be stacked at the same time. So for example, I have the artist manage 1% boost activated to show that I want this HQ to be shown in the world tour map. And what's so good about these skins are it is all passively buffs. You don't have to activate it to gain this additional skill or additional like stats boost. So for players who pay a lot, you kind of get a lot of these skins, and you get a lot of like this passive stat boost, which could be very beneficial for your PvP game. And now for the last two areas where you can boost are group and some like extra worthy mentions. So I'll touch on group first. For group, the way that you can improve stats is only on your group plan under the artist column, and you can see that for different sections you can see that there's an increase in singing and dancing stat boost, and this is just a little tiny way you can improve your PvP stats. So the last extra mentions is the tower, the Khalifa tower that is in the middle of a city map, and what stat boost you can get is depending on what you are assigned to. So how you can look at what stats you can obtain depending on what post you hold in that city server map is through looking at the tower itself and click on the mayor, and you can look at the cabinet area, and you can see that there's different areas where you can get a boost in your PvP stats and also a decrease in PvP stats. Yeah, and of course the best passive buff, if you are a owner of a group or you are a big player, you're able to be a mayor of a city and you can gain quite decent buffs. Alright, I forgot to mention, I've spoken a lot on how you increase your PvP stats for Apex Go or Top Go, but I have not mentioned how you can attack people or the ways you can attack and how you can increase your capacity to attack other people. So example, over here we can see a building of a player. So the top money logo indicates how much money you can loot from the player, and then when you click on the player itself, there are two options, rob and rally. So what robbing means is that it's a solo attack against a city. So this is generally what you don't really want to do, to solo attack a player's city, because they will have a lot of fans harbor into their city, and with the overwhelming fans that they might have, it might crush your solo attack. And the second method is rallying. So what rallying is that people from your group are able to join your rally. So the rally itself can have a few million fans which would help attack a player's city. And how you can increase
your fan capacity and your rally capacity is by going over to your blueprint section over at the street and bottom right. You can see that you can unlock more fan capacity for solo attack and even your rally capacity for attack, so more players are able to join your rally. So that is very important. And other ways you can indirectly increase your rally is also by upgrading your artists. The higher the level of the artists, they're able to send more fans to attack, so this indirectly increases your rally capacity, and also some of your artist skills will increase fan capacity on the third skill upgrade. So let me just show you. Yeah, so example for Victoria, the third skill upgrade will increase fan capacity by 0.8%, and this would scale depending on how high this skill upgrade is. And yeah, if you got 5-star of this skill upgrade, you can increase even more fan capacity.
So I think this is pretty much how you can improve your PvP stats, and I'm just going to show you one last report which is a lot more recent, and you can see that people will value attack capabilities more from this attack that I have received. A singing stat of 227,000, which is quite insane compared to just 178,000 dancing stat. So just a little tip on what these skills mean is that these skill percentage bonuses are based on what artists that you are using, and I'll just use this report as a basis of what kind of artists that you can use to have the maximum available stat boost that you have, because this is a player that probably attacks a lot. And you can see that these are the 5 artists that he used, and just a way to decide what artists to send out is to just go over to your artists, and whichever artist that has the highest star skill upgrade, which is defined by the color of the star, just use them, because they are definitely better than most of your other artists that have a lower star grade of like gray. So gray is really just a level 1 star, and as you level it up from no star, which is 0 star, to gray, which is 1 star, green, blue, purple, and yellow, which is a full 5 star. And there comes to a question of, if you have a lower level artist but you have a very highly leveled up skilled artist, which should you choose? And I would say that if the level disparity is not that much of a difference, you should choose a skill level which is higher rather than artists that have a high level, because skill attacks and skill buffs, skill upgrades in general would be a lot more beneficial for your entire army and for your fans. So that is what I would recommend. And with this, I end the video, and if you enjoyed my video, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you guys again real soon for my next video.